Hello, and welcome to Deploy Intune 101, a free video training course on how to quickly configure and deploy Intune as a standalone enterprise mobility management solution. My name is Roy, and this video is brought to you by UEM Authority. Let's get started. To manually enroll an Android fully managed device with Endpoint Manager, we can start with a factory reset new or existing device. This is because Android Enterprise fully managed can only be activated from a factory reset device. To begin the process of enrollment, we then press Let's Go. Next, we are asked to connect the device with a Wi-Fi or mobile network. In this case, we will press Skip as we don't have a SIM card inserted into this device. Next, we will select the available Wi-Fi connection and enter the password key for that Wi-Fi network. Once connected to an available Wi-Fi network, the device will then go off and check with Google if there are any Android updates available. This may take a few minutes, so allow the device to complete this before continuing. Once updates are installed, the device will ask whether you would like to copy any apps or data from an old device. For the purpose of this training video, we will select Do Not Copy. The device will then perform an activation check with Google to ensure the device has a valid flavor or valid operating system installed. You are then asked to sign in with your Google account. Rather than enter our Google account, we must input a code which will activate the fully managed enrollment state and allow the device to then continue through the process of enrollment to Endpoint Manager. Within the email or phone text field, enter AFW hash or pound followed by setup. So that is AFW hash or pound setup, and then press next. Next, the device recognizes that it needs to set up as a work device and asks you to accept and continue. Select the Accept and Continue button. You are now notified that this device will be enrolled and it will be corporately owned, which means the device is no longer private. Once the device has finished completing checks in the background, you will be presented with a Next button. Go ahead and select Next. Allow the device up to 5 minutes to complete a few checks before moving on to the next stage of the enrollment process. Once the device has reached the next stage of the enrollment process, you will be prompted to allow device policy to take pictures and record video. You can either select whilst using the app or only this time. We will go ahead and select while using the app. When activating the fully managed profile within Endpoint Manager, Endpoint Manager would have generated a QR code and also a token enrollment ID for you. You can either choose to scan the QR code with your rear-facing camera or enter the code manually, as we will do in this demonstration. Selecting Enter Code manually, we are able to then input the code into the text field. Once the code has been inputted, we select Next. The device will now validate the token code and verify which MDM platform, in this case Endpoint Manager, the device must enroll with. Once complete, you will be asked to accept and continue the terms for Google Chrome. Go ahead and select Accept and Continue. The device will now open the Microsoft Company Portal app within the Chrome browser. This is where we will begin to enroll the device into Endpoint Manager by signing in with your Microsoft Azure AD account. Within the sign-in text field, enter your Enrollment Azure AD user account. In this case, we will be using testuser01 at training.uemauthority.onmicrosoft.com. Once the UPN has been inputted, select the Next button. You will now be asked to validate the credentials with a passcode or password. Once your password has been entered, select Sign In. Select Click here to continue. Allow the device up to 5 minutes to complete some processing tasks in the background. You will now be presented with your work checklist, whereby the device will install work apps which are pre-authorized to install on the device, as well as any additional applications which have been assigned to your work devices. As we can see, there are two required apps, Microsoft Authenticator and Microsoft Intune, and these are installing automatically from the managed Google Play Store. And then additionally, we have the Intune Company Portal and also Microsoft Outlook. Allow up to 5 to 10 minutes for the device to complete installation of Microsoft Authenticator and Microsoft Intune before continuing. At this point, it is worth noting, for Android Enterprise Fully Managed, only a very light version of the Intune Company Portal app will be installed. As you can see, this is called Microsoft Intune. Intune Company Portal will install, however, will be hidden as a background process app instead. Will facilitate functionality for the Microsoft Intune application. Once the required apps have completed installation, select the Next button. Now we need to select Register your device. Select Setup. When asked to sign in by Microsoft Intune, select the Sign In button. We are now asked to validate our enrollment user credentials by entering the password. Enter your password and then select Sign In. And then select Register. The Microsoft Intune app will now establish connection with Endpoint Manager in order to complete enrollment. Once connection has been established, ensure you are happy and ready to continue by selecting Next. The last step of the process is to register your device. Select Next to confirm. Once registration is complete, select Done. The device now presents us with the home screen. Swiping up to open the apps tray, and then selecting Intune. We can see under Devices, our device has enrolled successfully. Selecting our device to reveal more information, we can see the compliance status of the device is set as compliant, the manufacturer and the model, and the operating system. And then also we are able to sync with Endpoint Manager. Selecting the burger icon in the top left-hand corner, we can see our enrolment user. This concludes manual enrolment of an Android Enterprise fully managed device with Endpoint Manager.